hello everyone, and welcome to Mental Junk Food. And I am your host, CB Smallwood, and you're at the place where we talk about all things comics, sci-fi, horror, fantasy, pop culture, and everything in between. And today we're going to cover some more Atlas Comics news. And maybe this isn't so much news, but I thought it was interesting to hear a little bit about the history of Atlas Comics from someone that may have been involved with it. And I thought this was pretty cool, so let's go ahead and get into it. This is brought to you by, and I always like to cite my sources, 13th Dimension, Comics Creators Culture. So if you want to cut the middleman out, which is me, you can head on over to their wonderful website to see all the cool articles and stuff they got going on. With that said, let's go ahead into the headline. The Atlas Comics revival that should have been, and perhaps could still be. This was posted by our good friend Dan Greenfield on October the 26th, 2024. And this is the important part, which all of it's important, but in particular, artist Steven Butler is the one who wrote all this, okay? Artist Steven Butler. And I first, unless I'm mistaken, became familiar with Mr. Butler when he did the reboot of Malibu Comics' Ultra Force, which was... Malibu Comics was purchased by Marvel, and they did a reboot of that universe, and I think the first couple issues of Ultra Force was drawn by Steven Butler, though I could be wrong. But I really like the art, and I think this is the same artist. So let's go ahead and go further. So Steven Butler goes on to write, I was 10 years old in 1975 when I first encountered Atlas Seaboard Comics, and my life was forever changed. I remember seeing them on the spinner rack at one of the local pharmacies in my small Mississippi hometown of Lucedale. I've been a comic book fan for several years at that point, and was used to making semi-weekly visits to the same pharmacy just to find anything new on the stands from my favorite creators like Jack Kirby, John and Sal Buscema, George Perez, and Jim Starlin. I distinctly remember being really excited about seeing these new vibrant comics with awesome looking characters sharing the rack with all my regulars. And I think it was the second issue of Planet of Vampires that I saw first, and that cover by Neil Adams dazzled me from across the room, luring me to the spinner rack like a moth to the flame. And I gotta say, this is pretty cool. This is what the kids used to call, this is dope. It's dope, brah. Looks pretty good. I love its logo. I mean, I love everything about it, you know. It's pretty cool. Don't struggle, my dear. Soon you shall rule by my side as Queen of the Vampires. Now, I had no idea at the time about the history of this new upstart company and how publisher Martin Goodman evidently created the entire line as a very targeted way of trying to stick it to Marvel, which under new ownership renegade on a deal to keep his son Chip on as editorial director. All my 10-year-old self knew was that there was a brand new line of comics that looked every bit as good as Marvel and DC, and that I could get on the ground level with them. A very appealing draw. I do remember trying to pick up as many Atlas titles as I could, but I suppose the distribution was spotty because only certain issues were available. But for the most part, I highly enjoyed every issue I bought, and they might have looked like Marvel Comics in their art style and cover trade dress, but the stories were anything but. They were more like the stories I would read in Warren magazines, more adult-oriented with harder-hitting violence and overall feel of a more cynical nature. I was still enjoying almost a year later, and was perplexed to find out one day that they were no longer on the racks, unaware of any news outlets that could explain what happened. I just chalked it up to the company not being able to make a go of it in a crowded marketplace, and went on buying the comics that were still in the stands, which was Marvel, DC, Archie, Gold Key, and Harvey. But I never forgot about Atlas Seaboard. Those comics had made such an indelible impact on me that they stuck with me through my high school years and all the way through my career as a professional comic artist. And I remember the very brief Atlas revival in 2010 with new comics using some of the original Atlas characters. I thought about submitting some of my own work to the company making those classics, but by the time I got around to doing so, it had stopped producing Atlas material. Before we go any further, look at this. A 6-part maxi series by Mort Todd and Steven Butler. Atlas Universe. Wow. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I love the fact it's got, obviously all these characters in the background. It's got this guy in the foreground. Is that Demon Hunter? Is that what his name is? Demon Hunter? Or I got that wrong. Is it this guy down here in the lower left? I think this is Tiger Man. I think this is Grim Ghost. Devilina. I'm not sure about the rest of them. What is this guy? He was kind of like their Hulk, and I can't remember his name. The Brute. I think it was the Brute. Anyway, flash forward to 2020. I had been teaming up with my buddy Mort Todd on some Charlton Neo projects when we started talking about our shared love of Atlas Seaboard comics. Mort had connections, so we decided to work up a pitch for our own revival. It wasn't so much a re-imaging as was going to be a continuation, which I love that. I love the continuation. Where Atlas line left off in 1975. It was submitted, but for whatever reason, it didn't go anywhere. As many other professional creators can attest to, there are a lot more pitches that never get picked up compared to the number that get greenlit. Tiger Man here, doing his tiger thing. I think I would have liked to seen this done kind of like nighttime wise, like with the full moon, because obviously there's a light source coming from up here shining down, so I think I would have liked that. I mean, this is cool too, but I think it would have made it pop more in a cool way. That's just my opinion, but you can see a lot more of these details when compared to the colored version, so that's However, with Atlas Seaboard being so prominent in the news lately with the new Mego action figure line having an exclusive deal with Walmart, I thought I would showcase the art that I did with Mort on colors for our 2020 series pitch on my Facebook page, Steven Butler Studios. So if any of you are still Facebook fanatics, go over to Steven Butler Studios to check out this stuff, okay? Support guys that make comics before they're gone. The post got a lot of traffic, and I'm now happy to share that art here at 13th Dimension. I'm also sharing a few recent pieces I did of my two favorite but obscure Atlas characters, Demon Hunter. Okay, so this is Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter and Phoenix, the Protector. Alright, I'm digging it. I like it. I like to see some nighttime colors put on this too. I think it, here's the pencils or the roughs. Oh no, so this is Phoenix, the Protector. That's pretty neat. It's almost Jack Kirby-ish. I believe many of us comic creators get into this uniquely odd profession out of deep desire to continue to cultivate that sense of wonder that we ourselves experienced when we first encountered the magical medium of comics as young children. I know for myself, the comics is the number one catalyst that inspired me to become an artist in the first place. Atlas Seaboard played a huge role in that. They were among the first titles that made me realize that I wanted to draw comics for the rest of my life. Well, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like this. So I hope you guys enjoyed the artwork. Maybe some Atlas work is in my future. Maybe not. All I know is that I had a great time drawing these guys, and I hope it shows. And that was written by Steven Butler, who is a professional artist who has worked for Archie Comics and Marvel. Now let's go back up here to this one piece here that kind of got rejected. Let's see if we can zoom out. Boom, 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 boom. So this would have been cool. A six-part maxi series. I wish they got to do that. I mean, shoot. I mean, the guy was a pro. Submitting this to a revived company, I would have sat up during that and been like, well, let's greenlight that, what could it hurt? Unless I don't know, maybe they asked a lot of money. Who knows about these things? So anyway, I wanted to share this with you. And again, this whole article is written by Steven Butler. It's up here on 13th Dimension, Comics Creators Culture.com, okay? 13thdimension.com. And are yins still excited about the revival of Atlas Comics? You got these Mego figures coming out. You got comic books. There's like 3 comics that I think they're going to launch. Might be Devilina, Grim Ghost, and maybe Phoenix the Protector. I'm not for sure. It might be those 3. I might be wrong. Sorry for not having the actual stuff in front of me ahead of time. But also, I think movies maybe for Paramount, but regardless, movies period, so it's all tied together. Walmart deal, I mean, they're going all in on this, so it's going to be pretty neat. I think there's plenty of great artists out there that can really do some wonderful things with these characters, and I think it's going to boil down to writers and really committing to making comics, I mean, getting this stuff out there, because it's not going to be easy to get this company going. But I remember when Valiant Comics relaunched, sometime in the 2000s, I'm not for sure. I'm not talking about the Acclaim run. I'm talking about the one that everybody loved. If they could do something like that, I think they'll do well, But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments section down below, and I'll try to have some more Atlas stuff heading your way, all kinds of interesting things I'm cooking up. As always, this is CB Smallwood saying I will see you in the next video.